السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الله أكبر. 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 إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا. أما بعد فإن الحمد لله. All praises for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praises for Allah for the blessing of Ramadan. All praises for Allah for the month in which He revealed the Quran. All praises for Allah for a month in which He allowed us to reconnect to Him and reconnect to this book which He sent as a blessing and as a light to all of the worlds until the end of the worlds. All praises for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who gave us a day after the end of these months, after the end of this blessed month of fasting, to glorify Him and to praise Him and to thank Him. In the words of the Holy Quran, لِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ, that in this day we should recall all the blessings and all the gifts and all the fruits and all the lights we have found in this blessed month. And as they come to our mind, we simply say, Allahu Akbar. Allah is so great, the one who has purified us. The Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that the angel Jibreel said to him, may he be distant and remote who finds the month of Ramadan and is not forgiven in it. Meaning what? The forgiveness is for everyone, except for the one who turns away and closes the door for him for his own self. So all praises for Allah, we find ourselves forgiven, purified, cleansed. And when we remember these blessings, we say, Allahu Akbar. How amazing, how great, how tremendous, how glorious is the one who's blessed us. Allahu Akbar. In this time of Eid, at the end of the month of Ramadan, we have two main duties. And the first is the one that I've just mentioned to you all. It's the gratitude and it's the congratulation that we say to each other with smiling faces and open hearts, well done. You did it. We made it to the other end. Allah blessed us to go through a whole month of devotion to Him. Congratulations to you, because each of us have done something more than any other achievement they might have done in their lives. So how you congratulate people on their exams and on their work and on their salaries. Congratulate them even more on this day. تَقَبَّلَ اللَّهُ تَعَاتِكُمْ. May Allah accept, may Allah purify, may Allah raise. Allahu Akbar. All praises for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And a second thing we think about on this day is to reflect. Because Ramadan was not a purposeless activity. It was a training. So what have we learned from it? And what do we carry on after it? What is the action plan? When you wake up purified and cleansed, what is the task ahead of you? That is something for us also to reflect upon today. And so what is the task ahead? Well, let's look at what we've learned in this holy month. And this is a holy month of fasting and of connecting back to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What have we all learned from fasting, the young of us and the old of us? The man of us and the woman, the man who works and the person at home, we've all learned something tremendous, which is that you can dominate your desires. You can set a task for yourself and meet it. You can make a task, however arduous or difficult. If you told the people on the streets you fasted 18 hours a day for a month, no drink, no food, no water, they wouldn't believe you. They say, how is that possible? And you've done it, and your children have done it, and your wives have done it. Allahu Akbar. And it shows you that you can do anything. You can do anything. You can be brave. You can be courageous. You can be generous. You can be the hero. You can do anything. All you have to do is want it and resolve it. And you know that you'll defeat all of your whims and all of your desires. Allahu Akbar. He's shown us what we're able to do by what we have already done, by the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Among the things we've all learned from this month of fasting is we felt hunger and we felt thirst and we felt exhaustion. There were people among us, subhanAllah, they're praying, they work all day, they pray till 1 o'clock at night, they wake up at 2 to have a meal and they sleep and go back to work again. A tremendous exhaustion.
And you've lived through all of that. But most of you have known there was an iftar to look forward to. There was a drink to look forward to. There was a bed you could still go home to. But there are people living here who don't have those beds and don't have those iftars. They just have the hunger which you felt, and the thirst which you felt, and the exhaustion which you felt, and nothing beyond that. So it's a month where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reconnects us and shows us what it means to be in need. For what reason? Except that we'll stand up and we'll look to those who are in need. And we'll speak of this, of what we've learned in this holy month, is the deep spirituality that has come from the privation, which is hunger. All of you have felt it easier to pray, easier to read the Quran, easier to make du'as. You've had moments of purity you've not felt throughout this year. And so Allah is teaching you that sometimes less is more. Sometimes your victories will come in the things that men on the street are afraid of. Because it's in the privation, it's in denying yourself, that suddenly your soul rises. And the most amazing purity you find in your soul, Allahu Akbar, and we've all felt this. This has also been a month of the Holy Quran, because the fasting was to celebrate the revelation of the Holy Book. And so what have we all done? We've all been reciting the Quran. Some of us have been reciting khatams, and they finished it, and they prayed behind the Imam, and they finished it behind the Imam. All praises for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And some have done less than this. But we're a group, we're a family, and all of us have connected to the book as a group. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Muzammil, when He orders the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to pray for half the night, or even a little bit more. But then He says at the end of the surah, but I know there are people among you who have to work, and these are important tasks. There are people among you who are sick. There are people among you who are traveling in the land, striving for the good cause. You're not always going to be able to read as much, but read what you're able to. That's what Allah says. And so among us were those who read what they were able to, because they had to work and the hours were long. And there are those among us who read much more. But as a group, we've all connected. We're a community of the Quran. We are a people of the Quran. We are the bearers of the Quran. All of you have felt in this holy month reflections. All of you have felt the Quran speaking to you, however much you read of it. Lessons, aspirations, goals, a context. The book has given you an idea of the big picture in which our little lives are to be run. The book has told you of the end journey and the final standing, and which actions will be for you and which actions will be against you. Allahu Akbar. Allah has given us a map and a context so we can move forward under the light of His holy book. Amongst the messages, the core messages of this book that we've learnt, all of us in our reflections, are a few core messages of the holy book. The first of these is the hand of God is over everything. Everything you see around you, things that make you happy and things that you find as challenging, Allah is reminding you, He is beyond that, He is over that, He is controlling that. So you'd find peace in your hearts. So you'd have the strength and the courage to live in those challenges and to be grateful with those blessings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown us in this month, or in this holy book, that there's no injustice that will go without an accountability. And there's no act of sacrifice that you do for Him that will go without its due reckoning and its due reward. So all praises for Allah, because that's what gives you courage. To know that wrong doesn't go unnoticed. And the good doesn't go unnoticed. And Allah is over everything. This is the secret to courage. It's the secret to change. It's the secret to doing something tremendous with your lives. Allahu Akbar. All praises for Allah who gave us that message. Among the lessons, the core lessons of the Holy Book we've all found, is that believers come in all shapes and all colors and all sizes. There are heroes in the Holy Book, prophets and great people from before. Some of them were poor, some of them were rich, some of them were old, some of them were young. There were women in the Quran, there are men in the Quran. There were some people who were weak in the land and incapable. And there were people who were powerful and who were kings. And Allah is showing us through the Holy Book, anyone can be great. Anyone can be the friend of Allah. Anyone can be the chosen one of Allah. All you have to do is realize where you are. What are your responsibilities? What are your capabilities? What are your capacities? And then do the utmost you can to perfect them. To perfect the rights you owe to others. To perfect the good you can do for others. Allahu Akbar. The door is for everyone to be the friend of God. That's at the heart of the message of the Holy Quran. Among the messages of the Holy Quran is a core idea which is perhaps best summarized by a hadith in the Sahih of Imam al-Bukhari. The Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, each and every one of you will speak to his Lord, i.e. on Judgment Day. And there will be no interpreter, no middleman, no one in the middle. You're speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he will look to his right, and he'll see the deeds he sent before. He'll look to his left, and see the deeds he sent before. Some deeds he's so happy that they're here. And some deeds in the word of the Quran, he wishes there was a great distance between him and them. And he'll look in the distance in front of him, and he'll see the fire. And so the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after describing this picture, he said, protect yourself from this fire, even if it's only with half of a date. And if you don't find that, then with a good word. What does that mean? It means, if you're eating a date, you split it, you take the seed out, you eat one half, and a beggar comes, and you have nothing except half a date. The Prophet is saying, this date will protect you. This date has consequence with Allah, although it might mean nothing to people. So give it to somebody if you can and save yourself. If you don't have half a date, then with a good word. Imagine the desperation. The Prophet is saying, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you see somebody, say, Assalamu alaikum, how are you? I hope you had a wonderful day. You're looking really great today. Have a great one. Imagine, say nice things to people out of desperation, because these nice words will save you. That's what the hadith is saying. And that's what the Quran is saying. Because throughout the holy book, this is the core message. That there's a big context. And whatever good you do, however little it might seem to people, it can be great with Allah. So belittle nothing of your acts and do as much good as you can to protect yourself. That's the message of the book. And look at what the hadith emphasized was acts of charity, however small they might seem, whether it's giving somebody something or simply saying something nice to somebody. So all of these are of the core lessons that we've all learned from the fasting of this month and from the recitation of the Holy Quran. So what is the plan? What is the plan going forward? Allah has given us something else as well. Events. Events took place in this month. Events in our own lands in which we live that were dreadful, and that were scary, and that were frightening, and we have to think about them in the very light of what the month was teaching us. There was killing and there was murder in the name of a religion that you believe in, murdering without any help. There was murder in the opposite, out of the hatred of the religion in which you believe, in which you find all of your glory and your salvation and your peace. There were people who burnt in a fire. Many of them were your brothers who didn't have to burn. Many things have happened in this very month, in this very land, to your very neighbors. Allah is reminding you to think. So what's the task? What's the action plan? What's the month prepared us for? There are two things that you have to learn from these events. The first of them is you can't hide your religion. You can't say, well, I'm a Muslim and I don't have to worry about anything, because people are asking you. You're a scholar or you're not a scholar. They'll be asking you, can you explain what's Islam about? What do you believe? Can you explain what's your vision for this country? What's your vision for your children? And so Islam is not something you can hide behind your back anymore. You have to deal with it. You have to think about it. What does it mean to me? And this is a good thing. It means in this time you can't live in these bubbles people have lived in for such a long time, where you can forget about the world and you do your little Islam thing here and you walk out the bubble and then Islam is back in the bubble and you can't do that anymore. And it's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because if we break the bubbles, we might have a chance to be more true to the message that we've all been learning about in this holy month. And the second thing you have to learn in these events and in these lessons and through what you've learned in this month is that you have the power to write your own story. You have the power to write your own narrative. No one can tell you what Muslims are. You will tell the world what Muslims are. And I'll give you one example. In this fire that happened only recently, very close to here, it was the Muslim charities who were right at the forefront of offering support. The National Zakat Foundation was one of the very few sources of cash grants to people who had nothing. There was a mosque in that area, the Al-Manar Mosque, which was a source for everybody, Muslim, non-Muslim, to offer help or to take help. It was a mosque which showed that Muslims are at the heart of what it means to be decent, careful, sincere, well-wishing members of this society. And people praised them for that. And the victims thanked them for that. And so you can write your own script. You can write your own story. You can determine what Islam means in these lands. And you have to. And you have to. And the lesson of all of this is what we've all learned in this holy month. And so we have to think about that. Because this is the Quranic challenge. What is the Quranic challenge? When the revelations first came, there was not 5 obligatory prayers for a while. There was no Ramadan for a while. There was no zakat for a while. But the earliest revelations were insisting on the importance of caring for the needy, of connecting with people who were around you, of connecting especially to your relatives, of decency, of returning back with good, of patience in the face of injustice, of prayer in the face of adversity, of being ready to stand up for something greater than what people want you to stand up for. The early revelation had a message. It was a message of incredible care for others. And it stayed from the beginning of the revelation all the way until the end of the revelation. It didn't change. And this is a challenge for all of us to figure out, well, what have we done to show that we as a people, as individuals and as a community are there to help every needy soul, to mend every broken heart, to fix every problem, not to complain, but to fix things. Not to be there as a burden, but to be there as a solution. That was the beginning of the Quranic message. How many times has the Prophet ﷺ emphasized just smiling for your salvation, saying a goodly word, like we just saw. What's a goodly word? Except to cheer someone up. There's nothing else a goodly word is. Your Prophet has emphasized, ﷺ. How many hadiths talked about picking up harmful things from the street, so when others walk, they don't trip up. They don't see something that disgusts them, so they can walk in peace. And he made that one of your sadaqat that will lead to your own salvation. How many times has the Prophet ﷺ spoken about visiting the sick and the rights of neighbors? How many times has he spoken about, respect for elderly, love for the young? This is the message. And this is what the Quran is saying. These sadaqat, these acts of goodness you can do for any other soul, whether human or whether animal. The Prophet said, in every moist liver is sadaqah. In every liver there's an ajr. Any animal you can help, it's your salvation that you're going to find there. So the challenge is, can we live true to what the Prophet has brought, ﷺ? Because there's no other way forward except to come back now, to come out of the bubbles, to come out of our laziness, and to live true to the message of the Prophet ﷺ. And he said, and this is the first hadith, any hadith master teaches his students is this hadith. It says, Ar-Rahimun yarhamuhumur Rahman. Those who show mercy to others, Allah will show mercy on them. Irhamu man fil ard yarhamkum man fis sama. Show mercy to those on earth, and the one in heaven will show mercy on you. And so these times are calling us, and this Quran is calling us, and this fast is calling us to rise up now, to stand up and be a force for as much good as we can, to as many souls as we can. But the important point to bear in mind is this is not done for any human's pleasure. It's not for the sake of someone to click something on the newspaper, say, oh, this man donated something to this, he's very famous. This is not the point. Because good deeds you do for the sake of people will end up meaning nothing to people, and they'll definitely mean nothing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're not talking about that. It's not politics, it's not playing games with money, it's not winning friendships for the sake of that. What are the deeds that save you? It's that which is done solely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why, despite the huge continual insistence on charity in its widest meaning of the Holy Quran, Allah also tells you, in tubdu sadaqati fi ni'mahi. If you do it openly, it's good. When tukhfuha wa tu'tuha al-fuqara'a fahuwa khayrun lakum. But if you hide it, you conceal it when no one's going to praise you, and you give it alone, that's better for you. Because your intention is better. You weren't doing it for anyone's pleasure. And when you do it like that, Allah accepts it. And Allah nurtures it, and Allah makes it great, and Allah sends His blessings upon you and upon your family and upon your lands. So it's not about maneuvering and pleasing, it's about doing things for Allah alone, and no one besides. And that's why in the Quran, Allah says in Surah Al-Ma'un, which is the surah we know, the mark of the people who reject judgment is the small acts of charity. They reject all of them, because they only want to do big, splashy, front cover acts of charity. So everyone will pat them on the back. Allah saying, no, the believer is the one who looks for the small things that no one cares about. The little things. You move a rock aside so no one trips up. No one will ever pat you on the back for that. But those are the ones that will spend on you. Those are the ones that will nurture your souls. And those ones that will bring blessings to your communities. And so the challenge of the Holy Book, the challenge of fasting is, can we rise up for the sake of Allah and not for the sake of man, to bring as much warmth, mercy, compassion, comfort, charity, aid, assistance to every good cause that is around you. And that was the message of the Prophet ﷺ. And I promise you, people will love your masajid if your masajid are serving them and looking after their children and a source of peace for their communities. And they'll love you, and they'll love your religion, and they'll love your clothes, and they'll love your countries, and they love your languages, because they know you are here not for pleasing anybody, but for the sake of Allah. You are sincere well-wisher in the community in which you live. And if you turn away from the challenge, and you turn away from the book, then one of the other recurring lessons we've all learned in this month from the Holy Quran is many people have come and they turned away from what the Prophets brought, and history didn't need them, and they were gone, and Allah chose another people. And so the chances for us now, a time has come to be true believers and to come together as one. Will we stand up for the challenge? And I ask Allah to give us the tawfiq to choose what is right and true. Astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Allahu Akbar, 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 Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. This is an Eid. These sadaqat and these charities and this warmth and this well-wishing, these good words and mending souls and breaking relationships, those most worthy of it are those who are closest to you. And so on this Eid, we are told to greet our families, our loved ones, our friends, the believers, and to congratulate them, and to give them gifts, and to give them warmth, and to encourage them, all for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you have people you've broken up with, try to make up with them on this day and these coming days. If there's wrongs that have happened, try to address them. These are the most worthy of all people, of our goodness and our warmth. There's a sadaqatul fitr that is due on this day, that everyone should have paid, and if you have not paid, then you should try and pay it as soon as you can. Because what was the meaning of the sadaqatul fitr? It was that nobody on the day of Eid has to beg. That on the day of Eid, it can be a day, whoever you are, whatever your race or color, if you're a believer and you're celebrating the Eid with the believers, you shouldn't have to ask anyone for money. You don't have to worry about your food for today. And so if you know of anyone who is alone and lonely, who have no one to visit them, this is part of it, similar to the spirit of this food. Then give them food, and give them a call, and give them a line. Because this is of the spirit of the Sadaqatul Fitr, which if you haven't paid, then you should pay. And it should have been paid for the morning of Eid. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we thank Him, we ask Him to bless us and to guide us, to have mercy on us. Allahumma aghfir lil mu'mineen wal mu'minat. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered all of us with a command which He Himself engages in and the angels engage in. And He told us all to engage in it with Him by saying in the Holy Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَمَلَائِكَتَهُ يُصَلُّونَ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا صَلُّوا عَلَيْهِ وَسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات ربنا لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا حاجة هي لك رضا إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين. Many of us know people who've died in this blessed month, friends and close ones and relatives in this country and abroad. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on all of them, on all of the believers, all of those who have died, especially those who we've lost in this blessed month, to have mercy on their souls and to accept them and to raise them to the highest degrees. And that is easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa Eid Mubarak, and peace be with brothers.